All right, how's it going, everybody? This is the Osmo.com NHL DFS Strategy Show. We've got a massive 11 gamer to talk about for tonight, some big prizes. And so we're going to go through everything quickly. It's a Tuesday, so Nolan Kelly joins me. Nolan, how are you doing this afternoon?
What's going on? It's finally got a good slate here, I guess. So got some big ones this week. And NBA All Star break coming up. We're gonna have some big shows, I think, for that one. Possibly change it. All the NBA guys are gonna be coming over.
Yeah, we'll see how big the tournaments actually are.
It
It'll
better be. They better be pre NBA size.
They did have
I'm
hundred.
gonna
I
write
know
a
at least
sternly
100K
worded
first.
letter.
What's that?
Or I'm gonna write a sternly worded
Yeah.
letter.
I'm guessing they're gonna have some really big ones. I mean, there's some big ones tonight. There's 25K to first on DraftKings. There's some other. I'm sure there will be some other huge ones on Friday and Saturday and through the next week. So hopefully 100K to first, and that's the spot where you want to run good. So will be exciting. We are presented by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. As always, I see also a bunch of you have hit the like button already. Thank you for doing that. That helps us out a ton. So if you could, when you come in, that would be very much appreciated. And also hit the subscribe button. Make sure you know when we're going live. Yahoo has their golf contest posted, filling up pretty fast. Lock is at 10:50 a.m. Eastern. You've been playing golf on Yahoo, I understand.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How's that been going?
I think I broke even last week. Not the end of the world, but better than other sites, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say because if you break even on Yahoo, that probably means you would have lost money on DraftKings and FanDuel because they've got lower management fees, as we know so well. I did not fare well in NHL last night. I think I zeroed out, but at least I was playing some management fee free DFS, and I guess it wasn't management fee free. It was low management fee
You
DFS.
got you got loads of XFL money anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I had a pretty good XFL week, just jamming buttons in, putting the projections in FC, and just kind of doing some stacks. And yeah, it ended up going pretty well for me. How'd you do in XFL?
I just had two bullets in there, so and I think one cash didn't have much time to build some lineups. But it sounds like Alex was right up at the top, so it seems like our projections are pretty sharp. So take advantage of the week we have. I think the projections were free last week. I don't think they're going to be free this week, but we do have half off for the season long package. So
Yeah, I think
it's pretty cheap if you're not a member.
yeah, if you want to go to the Osmo_com Twitter account, along with our biggest giveaway ever that we've got going on right now, you can see some more information on the XFL package. If you guys are looking to join, it is a separate package from everything else in the site, kind of like the Summer League that we got going on. And then we're also going to have a package for everyone. If you're looking to join for about a week, it's going to be an 8-day package, but I don't think it's out just yet. But it will include PGA, NHL, and I believe NASCAR as well. So that's going to get finalized in the next couple of days, kind of an all-star break package. For anyone looking to join, it'll be at a pretty affordable price point as well. So if you're looking to join, keep an eye out for that, and we'll have more information in the coming days. Biggest giveaway ever that I've got up on the screen. Guess the total points between the Lakers and the Nuggets on Wednesday night. So not tonight. This game will be tomorrow. All you got to do is guess, of course, like, retweet, and obviously reply with your guess. And then you have to be following Osmo_com and Osmo NBA. So you can see all the information on the graphic. There should be very little confusion on this one. Already a bunch of guesses. So get yours in. Don't miss out. I mean, you can win a platinum yearly pass, which is $1,000 value. We're giving away 3 of those this time. So that's why it is our biggest giveaway ever. Exciting stuff. Osmo's NBA game plan is also free today. That's going on right now. If you guys are looking to play some NBA, here you go. You can view this for free today only. How did last night go for you, Nolan?
I didn't play much. Yeah, I had a busy day, so I didn't get. I don't think I had any lineups last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
A
took it
rare
off.
day off for the
That's
people
right.
at Osmo. Dollar Bill took this down with the max entries. Was a pretty good day for a lot of people that maxed or had 100 plus lineups last night. So let's look at Dollar Bill. This was the $15 tournament. If I didn't mention that already, you can click on this view button here. Nelson Bavillier, Bailey, Islanders 2, not Islanders 1. Islanders 2 was the Nuts, Lindholm, Gaudreau, Monahan, Ryan Pulock. So the four-man Islanders stack plus
Was
the 26.
was awesome. Alex was up there for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I think he got top five. We'll look at him in just a second. Carter Hart was the goalie, so uncorrelated goalie here for dollar bill. I think that's pretty much par for the course. Carlson, Pulock were his defensemen, and got solid production out of his stacks. So nice job there. Good enough to take it down. Alex, Brick, and myself were also up there in the top five, testosterone as well. So if you MME'd last night, it's a good chance you had. I mean, it's probably a good chance that you did pretty well or had one up there. If you had any Islanders 2 shares, Alex had, or I'm sorry, this is testosterone, had Nelson Bailey, correlated goalie with Ranta. Ended up getting the win. Arizona won, Burns and Carlson. So 15.8 out of Burns, 20.8 out of Carlson. The double defenseman stack. Those guys are kind of uncorrelated, but testosterone seems to do that pretty often, spending up for the top defenseman. As we know, Alex was up here as well. His top lineup was, of course, Islanders 2, but he had Backstrom, Ovi, and Oshie, kind of a power play stack. Niskanen was his other defenseman, and then McElhinney in goal. I was able to sneak up into the top 2 here, only being bested by dollar bill. I had Horvat, JT Miller, Pettersson. I think I swapped off of this lineup. It was Pettersson, Miller, and Virtanen. So basically swapped out Virtanen for Horvat with that late flex spot, and that actually ended up costing me first place here. So if I wasn't paying attention, I probably, I mean, I do win this tournament if I just keep the lineup the same. And,
it's the theme of this year, man.
Yeah, so a little bit annoying there, but I cannot complain with a second place. So pretty decent night overall. Our friend Homer Cleese was up near the top as well. So the MMEers took it over last night in the $15 tournament. I kind of don't really like that tournament that they run out on Mondays, but they continue to do it for whatever reason. Congrats if you had success last night. If you didn't, new night. It is DFS Daily Fantasy, so you've got another chance tonight. Let's talk about the games. Bunch of news to break down. Detroit and Buffalo. We've got a 2.4 applied total for the Red Wings, 3.2 for the Sabres. Jonathan Bernier and Carter Hutton are your goalies. Do we see anything new on either side here?
Sorry, give me 1 sec here. I'm busy checking out our data. So I just noticed from the Sabres side of things that we do have some new lines, but that Sabres Buffalo 1 got 40% 5-on-5 share last game at regular strength, which I think is the highest I've seen since I've been looking at it in 2 years. It used to be like Colorado 1 would get that high. So Eichel had almost 30 minutes last game. So if you value ice time, probably not a bad place to be going back to these guys, even though Eichel is pretty expensive. It looks like they're shuffling the middle six around a little bit. Evan Rodriguez, Frolik, and Skinner, and then Lazar between Johansson and Sheary. And then on the Detroit side of things, Robbie Fabry is out, and Anthony Mantha returns from injury. Back to his usual spot with Bertuzzi and Larkin. Phil Glendening, Athanasiou, and you don't care about the rest of these lines because you're not going to play them. So, yeah, kind of give me some Buffalo 1 in this one. I don't know. Where are you going? You like this Red Wings line reunited?
Yeah, I mean, makes the Red Wings more interesting for sure. They're really expensive, though. And Buffalo, for not being a great team, they do a decent job of at least slowing the pace down. So that can be kind of frustrating, especially when you got a pretty expensive line. Like, it's not like Mantha comes back and he's $5K. I mean, he's $7,400. So you're paying for, like, Detroit 1 before Mantha got injured, like, when they were rolling. Maybe they could come out and have a huge performance. I think that's possible. I just probably won't. I don't think I'm going to be heavy on Detroit. Not getting to a lot of them in the crunches at this point. I like the Buffalo side a little bit better. I thought that was going to be like my number one stack. Just looking at Detroit and trying to, like, in my head, think about what I expected my crunch to look like throughout the day. And they're not quite at the top. I think, it's difficult with Winnipeg, and then we've got Colorado, new lines in Pittsburgh with Zucker, that huge addition, and then Edmonton as well. Even without McDavid, I think Still, that top line has been pretty good. So they're getting left out a little bit for me. I think that might come up by time we get to lock. Like right now, I think I would only have like 5 or 6%. It seems low to me. So I want to get up into double digits unless we have some outrageous ownership projected for them. Right now, it doesn't look too terrible. And so we're still waiting on another ownership projections update. But once we get that, we can kind of talk about everything. So Buffalo won, good play, but not in like the top 3 for me right now.
Fair.
Anything else in this game? I mean, it's an 11-game slate. I don't know that we need to spend a ton of time on like depth lines.
No. I think for me, it would just be like Buffalo won mainly, and then like Mantha's really expensive first game back, so I'm not going to get to any of those guys tonight. That's about it.
I like Rasmus Dahlin for under 5K. It looks like Buffalo's going with only 6 defensemen tonight, so you don't have to worry as much about who's going to get left out. You should see 20 minutes. It is a good power play spot. Anytime you're against Detroit, it's a good everything spot. So Dahlin and Montour seem like they're pretty safe for 20 plus minutes, and that's huge against a team like Detroit when you're getting some quality prices on these guys. So just wanted to point those two out. Skinner forever buried with bad players, and I can't really play him for 5,700. I mean, outside of just going with the gut and trying to pick the game that Skinner's going to score 2 goals, I don't really see a reason to be playing him right now.
Yeah, he's not getting a ton of ice time, so
he's in the doghouse. Yeah, I mean they're just garbage. Let's go to Arizona, Toronto. 2.6 implied total for the Coyotes, 3.4 for the Leafs. Aiden Hill confirmed against Jack Campbell, who was also confirmed. Arizona played last night. Some sickness going around on the Maple Leafs. I understand we got a couple of game time decisions, it sounds like.
Yeah, it looks like Zach Hyman and John Tavares are going to be game time decisions. So I don't know what to do. And Justin Hull, I think, as well. So it looks like you're just going to have to wait to see. And of course, as with anything, if you do want to play Tavares and play this Leafs second line, you're going to get them at probably 1% ownership, I'd imagine, in a pretty tough matchup against Coyotes. So it's not the worst way to go. I think anytime you can get John Tavares at almost no ownership, you might as well take him if he plays. I don't know if he's going to play, though. It sounds like it's pretty bad flu bug. But on the Arizona side of things, they did shuffle up their bottom 6 last game. So just keep an eye on line rushes. I would expect maybe anytime we see that and it's like back-to-backs, you might actually want to expect some changes there. So if you're rostering Coyotes tonight, just double-check line rushes.
They did win last night, though. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe they just keep things rolling because they had been struggling since they got Hall, actually. I mean, in this game, you're always going to get a good total at home against the Leafs, but I don't see a ton that I'm in love with outside of the Matthews-Marner combo. With Hyman up there, it's kind of tough because, you could just spend up a little bit more and get Nylander and go with the full power play stack. Arizona's not a team that you really want to target power play stacks against very often, but the Leafs, they've always got this one player on each line that you kind of don't want to play. Hyman at 5,200 is not the worst thing in the world, but hard for me to want to play a ton of full Toronto 1 stacks. So I'm probably going to get to some power play stacks of the Leafs, but they too, they're getting left behind a little bit for me, and I wonder if that's just going to be different than the rest of the crowd. So were they jumping out to you when you saw them earlier?
No, not too much, though. I think Barry is actually coming up a lot in our projections.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm going. Probably just going to have some one-offs of that. And then, I think you could probably go to some Arizona tonight as a contrarian play, but I don't know. Not super excited about this game for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's pretty much Arizona 1 or nothing. I think there's a decent chance if Tavares plays, it's going to be him and Nylander and Kerfoot seeing the most time against the Dvorak, Hall, and Garland line. If he doesn't, then, I would definitely like Arizona 1 a little bit more. I think I'd rather face the Matthews-Marner combo, but I think that line, if Tavares plays, is going to see the most time against the Schmaltz line and the Stepan line, which are, I think, much weaker defensively than Arizona 1. So it's just a good spot for Matthews and Marner. Nothing really to complain about for them. I just like a couple other stacks a little bit better tonight. It is a huge slate, though, so Like they're not gonna be super chalky. Like I don't think we're gonna have a line that's 20% owned or even maybe 15% owned tonight. It looks like it should be pretty spread out. And then I agree with you on Tyson Barrie, 5,500 for him. He's like not a strong night for like top defensemen. Like you've got Tyson Barrie,
No,
you've
it's
got
gross.
Pietrangelo, Theodore. I consider him a top defenseman. But like there's no Yossi, there's no Burns, Carlson type of guys like that look just way too underpriced where you just kind of have to jam them in if you're multi-entering.
Yeah, and it looks like a lot of these guys are like, I don't know, guys I would stack with. It's not like they're Yossi types where you're just wanting offing them and you don't care, right? Like Hedman, Makar, I don't know. I'm probably putting like a lot of these guys just sort of as power play stacks in larger lineups. That's why Barry I think stands out a little bit because I don't know. I'm a little bit more comfortable one offing him at that price, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's a fine one-off, although I prefer to stack him. But when you're stacking him like $5,500 defenseman, then what are you going to do? Power play stack or include Hyman? Then it gets pretty expensive pretty fast in what I don't think is like the optimal spot for the Leafs here. Muzzin's another guy you can add in for 4,300. Do we know if Ekman Larson is going to be back? He was a game time decision last night.
He's back last game.
That's right. God, the Arizona Beats.
Didn't play on the power play though. Still Oosterley, so just keep that in mind.
That is actually pretty interesting. I did not catch that at all. But yeah, Arizona, like the Montreal Beats actually reported he was out, and then they report like I don't even know how it went down, but they said he was out, and then he was in the starting lineup. So I just thought he was out. It's not like I wanted to play him, but
shocking developments here.
Yeah, Arizona just like they don't really have beat writers, and no one travels with them. So when they're on the road, good luck finding anything out. But I do think it's likely that this top line sticks together. So that's the one I'm at least comfortable playing as a long shot. Florida, New Jersey, 3.3 implied total for the Panthers, 3.1 for the Devils. Could be Bobrovsky, could be Montembeault for the Panthers. It's Louis Domingue for the Devils. What do we see here?
I was just checking that Oosterley stuff there. I think he was. Sometimes, though, the data is not from the previous night's games. So, it looks like he was, though. He was on the power play. Sorry. Just double checking. So it's a decent value near the bare min if you wanted to go that route. On the New Jersey, Florida, is that where we're going?
Yep.
It looks like Hischier is out. All the lines are the same for the Devils here from last game. I think Severson's still in that top spot. I think Florida's all the same too.
I believe they are as well. I think for matchups here, we're going to see the Zajac, Coleman, Gusev line against Barkov, Huberdeau, and Dadonov. They're pretty comfortable going up against opposing top competition at this point. That leaves the Hughes, Palmieri, Jesper Bratt line probably seeing the most time against Florida 2 and 3. And so that's the line I'm targeting for the Devils, at least more so tonight. Like I like the top line. I like Hughes, Palmieri. Good price on them. You could, I guess, power play stack here if you wanted to like include a Wayne Simmons or a Coleman, I guess, if he's going to play on the top power play. New Jersey, too, has been kind of everyone's DFS darling recently. They've had a couple huge performances. I just think you'd just rather face the Trocheck line. And I don't think New Jersey 2 is that much better of a line than New Jersey 1. So I like the top line. I hope the ownership says otherwise. I'll probably have some New Jersey 2, but definitely more so on Hughes Palmieri here tonight. And then on the Florida side, like the Zajac line has been pretty decent. And Florida is very expensive. So you're paying, like, you're going to need some power play production, I would guess, here, because it's not a fantastic matchup. I rarely get to this Florida 2 line, so I miss out on the Achari Hatties. So it's going to be just a lot of Devils 1 here. And I think
did Pissick Hattie, by the way? Did I win our bet?
Pissick did not Hattie. You picked him the night after he Hattie, right? So I don't think he went back to back.
He had 7 minutes the next game, or no?
No, he got scratched.
Down to 7 minutes.
He was healthy scratch. I'm pretty sure after that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, he's getting the old Matheson treatment. Just noticing our site's down as well. We're looking into it. Should be up pretty quickly if we.
Yeah, I noticed that.
We'll have an update pretty soon. So, Yeah, I don't know. I was getting a fair amount of that Zajac line. What's the ownership like on New Jersey too?
Let's see. I had him. I think I've got this in my sheet from earlier because we can't access the site right now. Uh, Zajac's usually really low owned, like
Yeah,
always.
that's
Yeah,
the
we've
thing,
got
right?
we've got
So
Zajac at under 1, but even if he's like 3%, I think that might even be a little bit high. Let's see where we have Coleman though. We've got
Coleman
Coleman
and
really low. I think he'll probably come up. We've still got some players in the first round of projection. Like we have McDavid in there still from earlier. So a lot of these lines will get boosted up, and I think New Jersey too will be somewhat popular
yeah,
as a filler.
they seem to fit in really well. I don't know. According to our projections, anyways, they're pretty decent play. So,
Yeah. Yep. Um,
you like in Florida one here?
uh, Not really. I mean, I don't know. Kind of talked about them. They're like I think you're just relying on the power play at these prices here, and at a similar price, I'd rather play Winnipeg one. I know they're going to be more popular, but
Hmm.
I think some people will try to get. I don't know if it's sneaky or whatever, just contrarian and try to play Florida one over them. I can't really see myself doing that too often tonight.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, it's Winnipeg one or bust. I'm sure we'll get there, but
Yeah. Uh, any defensemen we need to talk about in this game? Or I guess actually I'm going to mention the third line for Florida just because of
oh,
how bad this New Jersey 3 line is. Like they have some of the worst numbers. It's kind of a small sample, but you wouldn't expect Miles Wood and Wayne Simmons to be that great defensively with Zaka. So maybe some good matchups for Florida 3. Problem is they're kind of expensive for a third line. It's on the road. Um, I don't know.
they've been really bad together though, haven't they? Florida
Florida
like
3.
under
Do they have bad
Florida
numbers?
three.
I'm not sure.
1.8 expected goals for per 60.
That's not great. But they will have a good matchup, and I guess Hoffman and Vetrano, like both guys that can score goals. So you need them
Yeah,
to be really efficient with their chances. I guess is what you would be looking for there.
it's true. I don't know what to do with that line, but I think like maybe it's Tonanito is not very good. It's my guess.
Probably not. Uh, I like Severson for 4,200. He is on the top power play, so he's the guy I'm getting to for the Devils when I'm four-man stacking them. Um, I prefer him over Subban for $400 less. And then
Our boy
pretty much,
Ekblad's priced up, so can't go
yeah,
there. Andy Green. Any
it's
love for
no,
$3,500 Andy Green?
no, I'm good on Andy Green
Why does
today.
he pop so much for us?
The block shots. I think historically he blocks a lot of shots, right? And so
Right.
when he's cheap, he's
Makes
gonna
sense.
he's
Safe
gonna get
play,
boosted up.
maybe cash games. Yeah, Severson getting a fair amount of minutes, so kind of like that call.
All right, let's go to the next game. The Flyers and the Islanders. 2.6 implied total for the Flyers. 3.1 for the Islanders. Brian Elliott expected to go against Varlamov. It was Thomas Greiss last night, so and it was Carter Hart for the Flyers. So both these teams played last night. We're going right back to Islanders 2 here.
Maybe, man. I wanted to play them last night, and I don't know why, or I wasn't playing, but I was not surprised to see like Awesome up there with the double stack. That was a smart move.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I don't know. Both these teams played last night, so I don't know if we're gonna have any changes. Just Kiefer Bellows maybe is possibly back in. Did I see something like that? And also Farabee.
Yeah, Bellows looks to be in on the third line, and then Farabee, I don't know about him. I don't think Philadelphia skated this morning
No,
because they played last night, so
no.
pretty much par for the course there. But
I'd say
Farabee
check
could be
both
in.
these line rushes beforehand, but
Yeah, so we've got a handful of 7 p.m. games. It is very important to be available at 6:30 Eastern, 6:35 Eastern to see if we get anything weird. I'm guessing we see a couple line changes here or there. I don't think Toronto lines are confirmed at this point, especially because they've got the game time decisions. So if one of these guys is out, like that could, really potentially swing some stuff on the slate. So especially with teams that played last night, like both of these two, you're going to want to check. There's always a random injury or someone got banged up last game that they swelled up and now they're missing the game the next night. So just be aware of that. It's kind of a overall disclaimer. But anyways, back to this game. Sorry, I cut you off there.
no, it's all good. Yeah, I don't know. I guess like we've seen Islanders pretty bad defensively. Like nothing standing out to me. I guess I don't know. NYI 2, NYI 1. Feel free to impart your wisdom here. You, the Islanders whisperer.
Yeah, I like the Islanders top line here. So I hope people go back to the Nelson line. They actually grade out as a decent value, just a good price on them. And like Beauvillier can score. You saw last night he scored a couple goals. Brock Nelson is having a pretty decent offensive season. But I like the top line here. Barzal, Lee, Eberle. They're the better line. I think they're going to get the better matchup. Islanders, I think if they're smart here, they use the Nelson line against Couturier, Giroux, and Voracek. I don't know how that's really going to go for them. It might not go very good for them, but I think that's probably what they start out doing. And the Couturier line actually isn't, like with Giroux and Voracek, they haven't actually been that great defensively, even going back to the start of last season. Like I think over a 250-minute sample, they're at I think 2.5 expected goals against per 60, which is below average. So interesting for a line that has Sean Couturier. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the end of the world for the Barzal line if they do see a little bit of time against them. But I'm hoping they see time against the Hayes line and the Frost line because I think they could dominate them pretty good. And they're all in the top power play.
Top
Goaltending
10
is,
in the slate and expected goals for as well.
yeah, they're unreal. They don't have the huge games. They're kind of like Vegas too. I've been riding them for a while, and they don't have the huge performances that often because of how much ice time gets spread around. But I think this could be one of them. And so, good matchup, 5-on-5, bad goaltending for Philadelphia. I mean, we know what Elliott is at this point. Pretty decent total for the Islanders. I like it here.
All right, I like it too.
Tays 3,500. Probably your add-on guy, top power play. I think he scored last night, or he did something decent last night. If I'm going to the Flyers, it's probably the Couturier line, but I don't even think the low price is really going to get me. Like I don't think I'm falling for that low price on Philadelphia one that often tonight.
Also, looks like the Islanders have kind of been a little bit better defensively lately. Hey,
So they
started
played
out
last
like bottom
night.
5.
Cliffy said they've been like average since January 1st, but maybe
Yeah,
recently,
but they were like the
trending.
first couple months of the season, they were like bottom 5 in the league, right?
Yeah, they were getting bailed out by their goalies for quite a bit.
So, I mean, that makes a little bit more sense. They've historically been a pretty good defensive team, right?
Yeah, under Trotz for sure. Niskanen is a guy I'm looking at 3,900. I think he pops for us in the projections. He was a guy that I was just looking at individually, playing decent minutes. He's doing some of the peripheral stuff. Maybe block shots could be a thing here as well. Or Sandheim. I know he scored last night too. So you've got a couple of options for the Flyers side for cheap defensemen. Pulak, 5,700. Maybe the start of a little hot streak. Multi-point game last night. I know he got one of the bonuses. I think he might have gotten both of them. So I might end up giving him a thumbs up. I think he doesn't project that well because he hasn't been great for most of the season, and 5,700 is kind of an expensive price tag. He got the combo meal last night. Only had 1 assist. I thought he scored a goal.
6 shots, 5 blocks.
Yeah, that's a really
Healthy.
good night. So if he's going to start doing more peripheral stuff, I don't know. You can't really take one game and say all of a sudden he's the player that he was midseason last year.
Probably pretty high event game too, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, maybe he's going to turn it around. Maybe that was the game he needed. 5,700 is a little bit expensive for him, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else here?
I got nothing. Yeah, I like that NYI 1 call, though. I think probably going to go under own tonight. Fairly decent price, full power play 1 correlation.
Yep, I like it.
Sign me up.
Let's go to Tampa and Pittsburgh. 3 implied total for the Lightning, 3.1 for the Penguins. Vasilevsky expected to go. McElhinney went last night, and it's, I think, going to be Matt Murray. We should find out at about 6 Eastern, that would be, or 5 Eastern. I can't remember when the Penguins coach speaks usually. But anyways, new addition for the Penguins on Crosby's wing here.
Zucker is up with Crosby and Hornqvist on the top line. Doesn't look like they have full power play correlation, unfortunately. Malkin with Rustin McCann, and then I think the bottom 6 is pretty much the same. And then on the Tampa side, Stamkos is officially ruled out, right? I thought I saw that somewhere. So they'll stick with their same lines that they had last game, I think. But just double check that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be out. I haven't heard anything about him playing tonight. So it would be pretty surprising, but we will know before lock, right?
I thought I saw someone tweet he was out, so I'll just
Okay.
double check it now. Also, site's back up.
Cool. So this game, I don't know that we have confirmation on the Pittsburgh lines, so I'm definitely going to be waiting to do my final crunch until this pregame skate comes out, because I think this is more speculation than anything. I know Hornquist moved up to Crosby's line mid-game last game, and so I think people are just assuming it's going to be Zucker with Hornquist and Crosby. I think it could be Simone with Crosby and Zucker. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, and then McCann drops down to the third line or something like that. But this is what I'm going to go with for now. And if it is the case, then I like the Crosby line. I like the Malkin line a little bit as well, but I just think Zucker is a really good fit with Crosby at under 4K, Hornquist at 5,500. You get two guys in the top power play. Add him in with Letang. I know it's Vasilevsky and that. I know Tampa is red hot or whatever, but like the point line, I think you can score on the point line. And if the Crosby line is going to go up against them at this price, and people want to play Malkin and Rust over them, I don't know. I like Pittsburgh 1 over Pittsburgh 2 if I just had to choose one.
I feel like, what's the ownership like, though? I feel like everyone's going to flock to it, like the novelty of the new player. Those guys always get over-owned.
You think? I mean, I don't know. Some people just think Zucker's bad, which I don't see how he can be bad in this situation unless he's just hurt. Like,
I'm saying he gets 8% ownership.
Okay, that's actually pretty healthy on a slate of this size. But yeah, I mean, if he's going to be around 8, that could be a little bit problematic. But he's still underpriced. He's still playing with Crosby. The site is back down. Actually, I'm trying to log in to see.
Yeah, can't log in right now, so I don't know what's going on.
They'll figure it out before lock, so don't worry about it. It's not important at this very second. I don't know. I'm with it, though. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on Pittsburgh 1 here.
All right, I like it.
Do you like anything on the Tampa Bay side?
No, I think I'm off it with Stamkos out. Like, I mean, the second line, the numbers are coming down a little bit in terms of how good they've been. They've still been pretty solid for a second line here, so I certainly don't think of them as a bad value play. But where they were like top 2 on the slate, now they've like drifted back down. I think. Oh wait, it's not even that same line anymore, is it? It's
no, it was Cirelli, Johnson.
Palat, so yeah.
But that line was pretty impressive last night. The Cirelli line
was it?
Okay. There. Yeah, I think they had 17 shot attempts at 5-on-5, and that's against Columbus, which is a pretty good defensive team. And
really small sample size so far, but with those guys. But
maybe they see the better matchup against the Malkin line, and then you get a pretty good even strength spot for one of the lower totals you're going to see for Tampa. Just 3 goals, and they're really cheap as a secondary line. So kind of like the Tampa 2 call as a pretty long shot here. I don't think they're going to have much ownership at all.
When was the last time Tampa was implied for less than 3 goals?
Yeah, I don't remember, man. It feels like it hasn't, like maybe a couple times this season, maybe not even one time this season. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Any defensemen you want to mention before we head out?
Getting to some Hedman, I think. I don't really know why that is, and I feel like the Tank's pretty solid play on this slate when there's not really a lot of options. He had 20. He's getting about 25 to 29 minutes, so it looks like he's back to his kind of his number 1 role. I think he's probably one of the better plays in the slate. Hedman's minutes are way up too. I think that's probably why our projections like him so much, eh?
Yeah, I was gonna say because I feel like Hedman hasn't been doing great with peripherals. But I do agree on Letang, especially if he's going to play these big minutes. Like, if he's going to play 25 a night, that might be one of your better options tonight. Even though, you look at the match against Tampa, they don't give up a ton. But, I mean, I guess Letang's had 3 out of 4 big games recently. So,
he's going to get his ownership. Hedman got 30 minutes or something last game or close to it. But you're right. Like, the peripheral stats just aren't there. So, I don't know. I never know what to do with him. He's probably just too expensive to play.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had 5 shots on goal in his last 10 games. I know that's not the end of the world. That's an arbitrary number too. But he's not hitting these bonuses.
Not entirely arbitrary though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's not hitting these bonuses with any sort of regularity like the whole season. He had a couple big games in there. Like, I guess he still does have some upside. I just don't know if this is the spot for him against a good defensive team in Pittsburgh. Let's go to Vegas and Minnesota. 3.2 implied total for the Golden Knights. 2.9 for the Wild. Marc-Andre Fleury and Alex Stalock are your goalies. Do we see anything new on the Wild side?
Yeah, new lines for the Minnesota Wild, I believe. I'm just going to pull them up now. So it's Kevin Fiala with Stahl and Parise. Galchenyuk making his debut with Cunnin and Zuccarello. Eck between Greenman and Foligno. Same line, same third and fourth lines there for them. And then power plays, Stahl, Fiala, Parise, and it looks like Spurgeon and Sutter on those. So I think those were the same as last time. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I don't. But, I'm wondering if these are confirmed lines as well, because you had the trade. I saw Galchenyuk was not at practice, at least for the start of it. So I don't know if they actually skated Galchenyuk with Cunnin and Zuccarello, but that probably wouldn't be the line I would be looking at much anyways.
Yeah.
I don't really like much of anything on Minnesota's side. When they're at home, they give this Eriksson, Ek, Foligno, Greenway line quite a bit of ice time. Whoever they go up against, like, if they're going to put them up against Stone and Pacioretty, like, good luck with that. I know they've been a good line, but the Stone Pacioretty line, as we know, like, they just crush everyone. No matter who it is, it seems like every single game they're just doubling up their opponents or close to it in scoring chances and expected goals and all that. So that kind of takes away some ice time for everyone else. It's a below 3 implied total. Maybe the Stahl, Parise, Fiala line, gets some popularity as a secondary stack. But Will Karlsson back for the Golden Knights, like, they're just a really deep team now. I don't think there's really any easy matchup for anything on the Wild side here.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like Minnesota, pretty solid defensively, and Vegas, that Stevenson line's numbers are just crazy. So I don't know, like, I could see getting to a few shares at low ownership of them, but it's not exactly the greatest matchup. Did find confirmation on those lines. Michael Russo tweeted that out.
Okay.
So
yeah,
those are, I think, anyways, because he said Galchenyuk will line up with Cunnin and Zuccarello. So that implies that everything would stay the same.
Yep. Okay. Perfect.
Are you so are you firing up some Vegas too here?
I always, like, I just feel like I should always have some exposure to these elite lines, because I feel like if you're just generating chances this often, like with this kind of consistency, even if it's a bad matchup and you're going to go up against the line that's been good in the shutdown role, the Eriksson Ek line, if that's even going to be the case, I feel like I should have some exposure. If it's 5%, that might be overweight, and I'm pretty comfortable with that. The $7,700 for Pacioretty doesn't really scare me off, nor does the $6,700 for Stone. Stevenson is just a throw-in to make the line cheaper, or at least the average price of the line cheaper. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just addicted to them. I'm not going to quit here. Like, it is on paper not a great spot, but they kind of transcend matchup with how good they've been.
Fair.
Stastny, Marchessault, Smith. So it's tough because I don't know which line is not going to face this Eriksson Ek line. You'd like, the line you play for Vegas to not be up against them, I think. They're pretty good checking line, and, like, they have good numbers. And so if that's the Stastny, like, if the Stastny line gets to go up against Stahl and Parise and Fiala, I don't think that line's going to be good at all defensively. I don't think Cunnin and Galchenyuk and Zuccarello is either. So one of these Vegas lines is going to get a really good matchup. I'm probably going to end up kind of splitting it with Vegas 1 and Vegas 2. So it'll probably be Vegas 3. Karlsson will probably Hattie in the first game back here. Kind of weird that they're playing him with Tuck and Eakin on the third line, though.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
I just figured that, they would just bump Stevenson down to the third or fourth line and then just go with, like, the normal Vegas 1 and Vegas 2. But it appears that's not going to be the case, at least to start.
Do you think that's worth watching? Like, I don't...
it is. I'm going to run my lineups like these are the lines that we have on the screen with Stevenson, Pacioretty, Stone. It would kind of be a pain to have to swap, especially because Karlsson's listed as a winger on DK. So you're kind of screwed if they switch something up, especially because this game starts an hour after lock. But
it's also like it's expected. It's not. I don't think there's an actual like line combo that's been released, so it might be worth monitoring anyways.
Fair. Yeah, it's kind of a lot of uncertainty in this game because if Karlsson goes back up to the top or back up with Marchessault and Smith, then that might be what the Wild considers the top line, and that opens it up for Stevens or for maybe Stastny, Pacioretty, and Stone, or Stevenson, whoever it is centering those two guys. So what you could do, what I'm thinking of now that we're talking this through, is maybe just put Stastny in with Pacioretty and Stone, make that manual change on Cruncher, and then just swap down to Stevenson and spend that 1K elsewhere if you want to be sure that you do get the correct combo.
That seems like a pretty good strategy.
Shea Theodore 5,900, expensive, but I'm probably jamming him in like 15-20% of my lineups tonight as a one-off. He's up there for me. He's played like
you're on these guys earlier than most. So like I find like one of my weaknesses as a player is adjusting to paying up for a guy who's not normally that high priced, and I kind of balk at that price. But like looking at what he's done over the past 2 weeks is pretty impressive.
So the points have been there for him. The peripherals they're good. They're not Yossi, right? But you'd like him to get more block shots and stuff like that. But he is attempting a lot of shots, and there's just not a lot to choose from, as we mentioned before. So you could spend up for Pietrangelo. That's fine. You could spend down for Dahlin or down to Tyson Berry. But he's kind of I guess we mentioned Letang and Hedman if you like him, but there's just not a lot of great options, I don't think, at the top. Dumba 4,700, gotta mention him, right?
Yeah, man. I think I'll get to some of him today. I don't know. It seems like he's also popping a little bit. Don't hate the Dumbo one-offs at that price. Probably more places I'd rather go, but it does look like he's kind of coming around finally, right?
Yeah, I've kind of been back in on him the last couple of games. I think I missed the breakout, so I'm a little bummed about that. But it's
a pretty mild breakout.
Yeah, I guess he only had like 18, 20 DK points or something like that. But I think he looks better these last few games. Yeah. 4,700. More of a one-off guy for me since I'm not that interested in stacking the wild guys.
Yeah, and I think he is a good one-off. At least he strikes me as the kind of defenseman who's a good one-off, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, he can score goals, right? And that's massive on a slate this big if you can guess a guy that, has a chance to score a goal, and he blocks shots, he puts shots on goal, obviously, being more of a goal-scoring defenseman. So even though I think he only has 1 goal this season, which is crazy.
4, I think, in 55.
Oh, he only had 1 home goal. That's what it was. He scored that overtime one last week. And he hadn't scored at home the entire season, which is crazy.
That's nuts.
Let's go to the Rangers and the Jets. 3.1 implied total for the Rangers. 3.4 for the Jets. Shesterkin, Hellebuck. Any changes?
Nice pronunciation there.
Thank you.
Shesterkin.
Thank you.
Your Russian is impeccable. Don't see any major changes here. So I don't know. You notice anything offhand there?
I do not. It appears Appleton is here to stay for at least the near future on Wheeler and Ehlers' line. 2,500 for him. He scored a couple goals. I don't. He's not necessarily a game changer, but he has stuck there. So that's at least encouraging to see. Gives me some reason to believe I can play some Winnipeg 2 as kind of a secondary stack. Winnipeg 1's going to be popular. There's almost no doubt about it. I think pretty much. Not a lock, but I think they're going to be the most popular line on the slate. Like, they're going to get well over double-digit ownership. If a line does hit 20% in a tournament, I would assume it's going to be them. You get full power play correlation. They're at home against one of the worst defensive teams in the NHL, in the Rangers. Young goalie who's done well so far, but that's not scaring me off. Winnipeg 1, I think they're going to be my highest owned line. Colorado 1 is more affordable without Landeskog up on that line, Burakovsky up there. So maybe that line gets more ownership, but they just look like the most complete stack. Not a bad 5-on-5 matchup. They're not great at 5-on-5.
I got a case against them, though.
Let's hear it. Just their numbers?
Well,
Their numbers?
Well, Shesterkin's been really good.
Sure.
I think 933 save percentage, 5-1, 234. So you got possibly a hot goalie. It's number 1. Number 2, Rangers have been a little bit better defensively lately, especially since the start of the year. So they're like, I think 8th at all strengths in expected goals against, and somewhere around there in high danger chances against as well, as opposed to they're 10th in high danger chances against per 60, as opposed to being basically basement for the entire season. If you were to take the other half of the season or just the season to this point, they're much, much worse. So that's about a 15 to 20 game sample since the start of January. So those are 2 reasons I think you could probably maybe get away with a Winnipeg fade here if they're going to be super highly owned. But certainly on paper, it looks like a great play.
Yeah, Winnipeg one, I don't think is like the perfect stack or anything. There's really that never exists in NHL
Yeah.
DFS. And in fact, like the thing I'm worried about the most with the Jets is them just not generating chances at 5-on-5. Jets top line talking about like they're just kind
Yeah.
of lackluster at 5-on-5, but they're priced up because of how many penalties the Rangers take. They're top 5 in time shorthanded for the season. Bad kill, well under 80% for the year. Jets kind of an average power play. They're at just under 20%, which is actually top half of the league. Um, but you expect the opportunities to be there. It is a huge total. It is a team that has pretty concentrated scoring on this top line. It feels like they just consistently outperform the numbers. This Scheifele line and whoever he's with over the years, Scheifele Connor. And so,
Again, as well, just point out since the start of the season, since the start of the new year, Rangers 24th in power play time per game.
fair.
So, or
Fair.
just over 4 minutes.
No, you're. I mean, maybe I need to back off them a little bit. I still think they're going to be my top one stack.
Don't get me wrong. Like my Winnipeg one was my like going to be my most down line here. I'm just trying to make the case. Anyways,
No,
like
I
I
mean,
think if you're, yeah,
No, that's a good case. It's good to present both sides at least. Let the audience decide for themselves, and let us decide for ourselves, I guess.
sure,
The question is, which line are they going to go up against? If it's the Zibanejad line, maybe not the best matchup in the world.
Yeah.
I kind of like both of these Rangers lines where I'm more apt to just play a bunch of Winnipeg 1 and kind of leave Winnipeg 2 in the dust.
Do you like this Rangers top line is getting no ownership tonight
Yeah.
as well? 1%, 2%.
I mean, yeah, you've got Zibanejad at 7,900 and Kreider at 6,400, so they're priced way up for the matchup. Like we can't forget that Winnipeg has, I still think, the worst kill in the league. They don't take a lot of penalties, but if they take 3 or 4 of them here, pretty good spot for this Rangers team, specifically their top 6. So I can see myself getting to a bunch of Rangers power play stacks as well as I try to mix those in tonight.
Yeah, for sure, and not full power play correlation with Buchnevich, but pretty close with Kreider, Zibanejad. Of course, you can always throw Tony D on there for a little.
Oh yeah.
And then, like, I don't mind taking the savings. If you're going to stack that lineup, I think just take Shesterkin on there, and I don't know. Seems like a pretty good option for a power play 1+ goalie stack and get some savings that way.
Oh yeah. I mean, Shesterkin, you would expect them to see a lot of volume here. If the Rangers can stay out of the penalty box, might see a bunch of low danger saves, and that is a big if. But yeah, I think he's going to be paired with a lot of my Rangers stacks tonight, whether it's the top line or the second line. Because he's one of those goalies at 7,300 that could wreck the slate while also giving up, 1 or 2 goals. Like it's not going to be a shutout, but he could have a massive game with the 35 save bonus. I think is as in play for anyone as it is for him tonight.
Agreed.
All right, Pionk, Morrissey, Niku. I mean, any of these guys.
I think it would just be Pionk and power play 1 stacks for me.
Yeah, I think it's just him for me as well. Morrissey, I've just been really disappointed in Morrissey. Like I played him a bunch earlier in the year.
Doesn't do much, right?
Yeah, kind of a lot of empty minutes. So I'm trying to back off playing guys like that with regularity. All right, let's go to Carolina and Dallas. How many more games do we have? 3 games after this. All right, we'll fly through these last 4. 2.6 implied total for the Hurricanes, 2.8 for the Stars. Mrazek and Khudobin are your goalies. Any changes on either side?
So for Dallas, I think Pavelski is a game time decision, and I think Radulov is going to go, even though he left early last game. Don't have confirmation on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Just looking at it, yeah. He doesn't even have a tag heading in. So, and then Carolina actually mix up their lines a little bit here for this one. So we got Svechnikov, Aho, and Teravainen, stall between Nietzsche and Fogel, Holland, Niederreiter, Zingle, and Walmark, Williams, and McGinn. So a bit of a curveball there from them.
Yeah, I think I'm targeting against Dallas here tonight. These lines just are garbage for Dallas. You could see them go back to Sagan, Ben, and Radulov at some point, or Hintz. I don't know what they're going to do. So I have almost no faith that these Dallas lines are going to stick together. So maybe you could power play stack them. And then Dallas also takes a lot of penalties. So I like kind of stacking up Carolina's power play if you're going anywhere, but you're essentially just playing the top line. Svechnikov and Teravainen. That's a line that I really believe in. hoping they can do some at even strength and then take advantage of Dallas taking a lot of penalties. And I think we could see some goals here despite the 5.5 total, or even under the 5.5 total. So it's going to be a decent amount of Carolina 1. I expect them to be pretty low owned, and hopefully can run over these awful Stars lines.
Fair. I wasn't actually thinking about going there tonight. I don't know. Dallas has been pretty good defensive team, right? So I'm like a little bit scared off by that, but we'll see. And as well, like with these lines, we don't know what's going to happen with Pavelski, right? So if he's out, they could shuffle and go straight back to like some sort of old line combo. But I don't know. Not really digging Carolina too much tonight, but yeah, getting a lot of Khudobin as well.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, okay. So Carolina always puts shots on goal, so that's never an issue. Like if you're paying for a goalie, if they can't finish tonight, if they go back to their old Carolina ways, then you might see a big Khudobin performance. But I just don't know which line to pair him with outside of the power play stack with Seguin, Ben, and Radulov. But those guys are projected to all be on 3 different lines, and I kind of hate doing that even when I'm power play stacking. So I'm just kind of at a loss for what to do with Dallas. I guess if I had to choose a line, it would be the top line, but that means you're playing Corey Perry, and it's bad, man. It's just really bad on the Dallas side. Same goes with their defensemen, Klingberg, Heiskanen, not guys that I'm all too interested in for tonight.
Lavin?
Man, not really. I think I'm good on him.
Yeah, he's pretty decently priced, though.
I mean, if you're going with the power play stack, like I said, or the top line, then he's the guy you go with. But $5K for him, I'd rather go with Rasmus Dahlin, I think.
Min price Jake Gardiner?
No thanks. You can have him.
20 minutes a game?
20 minutes with a block shot and a shot on goal if you're lucky. And there you go.
He's the new Nick Leddy.
You're up to 2.8 DK points. Let's go to Ottawa and Colorado. 2.5 implied total for the Sens, 3.9 for the Avs. Hogberg and Grubauer, neither are confirmed, so just be aware of this at 8:30 Eastern. Changes for the Avs side. I don't think we care too much about Ottawa in this game.
Yeah, for the Avs, of course, Nazem Kadri is out, so that's going to screw things up a little bit. Burakovsky up on the top line with McKinnon and Rantanen. Landeskog moves down and will be centered by JT Compher and with flanked by Jonas Donskoy. And then Calvert, Belmar, and Nichushkin. You don't need to know any of these other lines. Nothing crazy. Donskoy as well on the top power play unit with McKinnon and Rantanen and Landeskog. So not full power play 1 correlation, unfortunately. And then on Ottawa's side, we don't need to get into it, but no line had above a 10% 5v5 share last game. They did shuffle, so who knows what kind of lines we're going to get from Ottawa.
Yeah, if I was going to an Ottawa line, it'd probably be the Peugeot Kachuk line. I don't think I'm going to get to more than maybe a couple shares out of 150 tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if I get to like absolutely 0 of them. On the Colorado side, you've got a cheaper Colorado 1. Landeskog has not really gotten going at all this entire season. So you try something out, put Burakovsky up there, might help out. Or you could go McKinnon, Rantanen, and Donskoy for even cheaper. I mean, huge total here for Colorado. There's really no getting around not playing them if you're playing a bunch of lineups or even a few lineups, I think. So they're one of the best options of the night, if not the best option. It's just a matter of how you want to stack them. I think there's a ton of viable ways to do it. You can stack both of the top 2 even strength lines. I like stacking the top one better. Wherever McKinnon goes is usually where I'm headed on Colorado. But I don't think this is going to be a bad line either. Landeskog, Compher, and Donskoy. Like, that certainly has some potential too. Or you can, replace McKinnon with Compher. Like, there's just a ton of ways to attack Colorado here.
That's actually not a bad argument there. The only thing is like Landeskog is just kind of too pricey, I think, for that line.
Dude, he's been. I mean, his assist rate is so low this season. Like I don't know. I feel like it's kind of been a disappointing DFS season for Colorado.
It has, absolutely, yeah. And like we haven't really seen them even together very often. It was like, but
they'll probably just smash in the playoffs though.
Oh, for sure. Sign me up.
Yeah, when they play like 28 minutes a night. Cale Makar, 6K.
How Power play one stacks, and that's it for me.
Right, he would be an add-on for me. I don't think I'm getting to a lot of Makar as a one-off guy. I like going a little bit cheaper or going to someone like Theodore Pietrangelo, kind of in that same range. I think that is all I've got on this game. Ottawa, like this, whoever goes up against the second line, the Tierney, Nemestikov, Batherson line, is probably going to roll. Whoever goes up against the Nisimov, Paul, and Duclair is probably going to roll. And then whoever, if it's a match or whatever, whoever sees the Peugeot line, if they stick together, it's probably going to have the toughest matchup. But I don't know what they're going to do with these new lines, or if they're just going to roll through everything.
Man, Zucker is cheap.
Under 4K. You back in?
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Huh?
You in?
I might be in.
All right. Blackhawks, Oilers, couple more remaining. If you guys could hit the like button before you leave us, that would be very much appreciated. I see a bunch of you already have done that. Make sure you hit the bell in the top right corner to know when we go live. All of our shows, not just this one, but the Deeper Dive, Live Before Lock that's coming on right after this as well. Blackhawks 2.9. Oilers 3.2. Leonard and Smith are your goalies. No McDavid for the Oilers.
Yeah, so it's pretty ugly for the Oilers, but you have some interesting thoughts, I think, on Edmonton 1, so we'll get to those, but it's going to be Draisaitl, Yamamoto, and Nugent Hopkins. Just a bunch of crap from lines 2 through 4. I don't know if any of these are even playable, but they're going to get some increased ice time. Probably the second line is the best with Chiasson, Haas, and Gagne. Still no James Neal, I think, for the Oilers. Not that really makes a difference. So I'm guessing Edmonton 1's going to get a lot of ice time here. And I actually haven't checked the Chicago lines yet, though. This Tays line, I guess, has been pretty good so far. Don't think they've broken anything up. All looks the same here. So.
Yeah, I don't mind stacking the Tays line. It's just like Kajula up there. I'd rather do some sort of Tays, Kubelik, Kane, or something like Saad, like stack like that.
Yeah, that's
Kajula
fair.
just. I know he scores every once in a while. It feels like when you leave him off, but I don't have a ton of interest in the full stack. So power play stack for sure. No McDavid is huge for the Oilers, obviously, but for DFS, like this Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Yamamoto line looks to stick together. Looks like that's going to be the case, at least to start with. And now you got full power play correlation. You're going up against a bad Hawks defense. Really, the only guy that's going to stop you is Leonard, who's been really good. So that's the concern I have. Like, I have to give it to this Draisaitl line. They've been better than I thought they would be, and they're priced up a little bit. Yamamoto approaching 5K, but there's a clear guy to pair with them, Clefbaum at 6,400, and I actually have a ton of interest in.
Who do you love more, Clefbaum or Pulock?
This season, definitely Clefbaum. Last year, it was close, although Clefbaum cost me last year with a few duds. But, yeah, I'm definitely more of a Clefbaum guy this season. What do you think about McDavid less Edmonton 1?
I don't know, man. Like, I wasn't going to be on them, but I think the case is there, right? They're probably going to get 25-plus minutes tonight. They have some pretty good numbers. Chicago's bad defensively. They are kind of expensive. It's not like you're getting a huge discount, right? But so, like, Draisaitl's expensive. Nugent Hopkins is expensive. So it's not cheap to the point where you're kind of like being sneaky and getting value. Like, it's also sort of a pay up to be contrarian spot. I can't imagine they're going to get a ton of ownership because people are just going to look at this Oilers lineup and be grossed out by it. So yeah, I'm with you, man. If you think it's a play, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, it's gross for sure, Edmonton, but the top line not too bad. And yeah, take out McDavid. Like, I guess this is like the Oilers beat some of these beat writers' dreams. Like, they think Draisaitl's better than McDavid, or they think he's more of a winner.
Really?
Like, here's his chance. Right? I don't even know if it's beats or if it's, just media people in Edmonton.
God.
But anyways,
Edmonton
here's
media
his
is
chance.
just the absolute worst.
I mean, I hope Draisaitl goes off this game, but I don't think it's going to be pretty for Edmonton without McDavid in the long run. Although I do think this game, it sets up pretty well for the Edmonton 1 stack plus Clefbaum. And then looks like I'm getting to a little bit of the Doc, Saad, and Kane line. But I'm usually underweight on the Blackhawks. I'm almost never there when the field is, and I assume the field will be there in some fashion with Kane with cheap line mates here.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to The final game of the night, Blues and Ducks, 2.9 applied total for the Blues, 2.5 for the Ducks. Jake Allen and John Gibson are your goalies. Anything new?
No word yet on Kasha, I don't think. I looked at both of the beat writers just before we came on, and shocking development here. The second worst beat writer team combo in the NHL didn't have an update, so maybe we'll get one and we'll put that in the live blog, or if you know now and you can share with us, let us know. But I didn't see anything to say that he would be in or out, so I'm expecting these same Ducks lines and pretty much the same for the Blues as well. Brendan Gooley comes in for an injured Eric Goodbranson. So he's probably the bare min, although he's on the third pairing, but maybe you got to keep an eye on for the next little bit because he's got a little bit of offensive upside.
Yeah. Not much interest in the Duck side per usual. They are garbage.
I'm going to actually have none of this game, I don't think.
I'll have the Blue. I mean, I'm playing 150 lineups, so I'll have both of the Blues top lines. They're very secondary plays for me though. Like I don't see myself getting to more than 5% of either of the top two. Despite the Ducks being bad, you'd still think Gibson can kind of hold his own. I know he hasn't had a great season, but I'm also not in love with either of the Blues top lines. So it's more of just to trust the projections type of thing and play it.
And also solid price points on all of them too is the advantage there. So
I feel like the Blues have been underpriced like the whole season, but it rarely works out where they're like the nut stack either of the top two lines. But I do really like Pietrangelo at 6,600. There's a guy that I'll have a bunch of exposure to in one-off form as the late night hammer.
Love it, man. He's probably not going to get much ownership.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this slate kind of fizzled out towards the end, but
it certainly did.
No McDavid on the Oilers, Blues, Ducks to close it out. This last game, hopefully it doesn't come down to this, but yeah, pretty ugly one, I think. All right, I think that's all we got for today. If you guys want to participate in our biggest giveaway ever, here is the link to do so. No reason not to. You can win a free year of Osmo Plus Platinum. That is everything on the site, excluding Fantasy Cruncher, but you could buy that as an additional add-on with your package. All you got to do is follow the directions in the tweet. You can come join us in Slack. You can troll me. You can do whatever. If you got any questions, feel free to hit us up on Twitter. Shout out to Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports for sponsoring us. They have lower management fees. They have less pros on their site. And it's a fun gameplay, a little plus minus. I saw some people tilting about plus minus last night. Some days it's going to go well for you in NHL. Some days it's not. Some days Ovechkin's going to get a -4 and ruin your night before it begins. But go support Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. Use promo code OSMO when you sign up to get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. Check out Osmo's NBA game plan live stream. It is free today, so this will be open to everyone. If you're playing some NBA tonight, there you go. Watch the deeper dive. It is on right after this. Anything else, Nolan?
That's all I got. Stay tuned if you're an NBA fan and you want to pass the word around. EMAC will be on here on Friday. You guys will be having the late slate or the NBA spot because there's no NBA action, right. And NHL is going to be king for the next little bit. So
can't wait.
It's all us, man. Let's go.
Good luck tonight, guys.